Hey everyone, welcome back to my house. Today I'll be reviewing the Book of Boba Fett, which is a very interesting show. So I hope everyone's having a good day, and I hope this mid show won't ruin your day. Yeah, if you're watching this in 2026, thanks for checking out the video, but there's definitely some better shows you could be watching right now, like The Boys, Invincible, Maul, literally anything. But if you guys want to see a Boba Fett review, stick around. Alright, before we get started, let's start with our video quote. Today's video quote is, "A soldier's most powerful weapon is courage." So like always, since this show is like super old, there will be no spoiler free section, so I'm just going to go straight to talking about the show. And really, honestly, this is going to be much of a shorter video because I don't have much to say about this show because I'm going to be honest, this show is really bad and there's not much else I can really talk about it. So I'll probably be planning for or the week this comes out to have a video for Boba Fett and Mandalorian drop in the same week. So two videos in the same week. So I'm gonna try to get that done for you guys because both of those videos should be relatively short since they're both kind of to the same level of mid. Diving into Boba Fett, I will say I want to start with the positives, which I only really have one positive. The rest is just really negative. I think my main positive is that the plot is actually not too bad. Like the plot overall is pretty solid for like a TV show. The main problem with the show is just like, why is this plot for Boba Fett? Like this is not a Boba Fett show. Like this doesn't do any justice to his character whatsoever. Like if this was just like a completely new character or something like that, I feel like I wouldn't have as much problems with this show. But since they're putting Boba Fett with like the Tusken Raiders and all this other random stuff, like he wants to replace Jabba the Hutt and blah blah blah, it just feels so out of character from what we've seen from him. Which I guess is a good segue into my negatives because that's really my main negative about this show, and that's really only my only positive about this show. I mean, like other than like it's filmed and well acted, I guess, and the cinematography is decent and the plot is alright, just not for Boba Fett. Those really are my only positives about this show. There's really not much else I could take away from this. This show was definitely a pain to watch, like a huge pain. But yeah, going on with the Tusken Raiders, it's just like why? Like it's cool, but it's just not for Boba Fett. Like, and Boba Fett is one of my favorite characters. I mean, I didn't read the comics or anything insane, so I guess you could call me a LARPer or whatever. But I don't know, I always vibed with him ever since I was a kid, and you know, he just had so much aura and stuff. Like even in the Mandalorian, I feel like he was just characterized so much better in the Mandalorian season 2. Like he was just so much better in that. It's like, why did we not get this in his own show? Like when I saw Mandalorian season 2, I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited for this Boba Fett show. Maybe people are just, you know, being too harsh on it and stuff like that. Maybe it's not as bad as what people say, but trust me, it definitely is as bad as they say, if not worse. But yeah, they got rid of all of his aura.
Like a panther.
Yeah, I think they really. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they just did this so people could watch Mandalorian because I really feel like what Mandalorian is what Boba Fett should have been. I mean, the Tusken Raider stuff was interesting, I guess, but it's just like, why Boba Fett? And talking about Mandalorian season 2, I feel like he's a lot weaker in this show compared to Mandalorian season 2. Like, I feel like he had no problem fighting in Mando season 2, and most of the time he didn't even have like his armor for the most part. And even when he did have his armor, he was still like really good as he should be. He's like one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy. And now I feel like we just constantly see him struggling in this show. So it really does suck because they're just downplaying my goal. It's hard to watch. For the most part, we're on Tatooine, which just really sucks. Just like so much sand.
I don't like sand.
It would have been really cool if we actually got to see like other planets and stuff like that. Like at least the Mandalorians doing that. Like we get to see all these planets and stuff like that. Because the Star Wars galaxy is just so vast. I'm sure there's so many planets that we have not even seen yet, and so many other places that yet to be explored. So I feel like that would be really cool, especially if they did go like more of the bounty hunting route, kind of like Mandalorian ish. Honestly, the Mando building his ship episode was definitely better than most of the show, and maybe that's because I actually care more about Mando, I guess, even though I don't like him that much as a character. More on that in my next video for the Mandalorian review, but I'm more interested in him than Boba Fett because they're not doing anything with Boba Fett and they're just making him extremely boring, which really does suck. And also the show is mainly just flashbacks, which really just pissed me off. Well, if you watch Mandalorian season 2, you already know most of the stuff that happened. So it kind of feels like, why are we flashing back to this? I don't think most people are just watching Boba Fett just to watch Boba Fett and not watching Mandalorian. But even so, I feel like the flashbacks shouldn't be taking up that much time. Like it was just so boring, especially when you already know the outcome of the flashback. Because we watched Mandalorian season 2, so like, why are you giving us information that we already know? And it's not even like cool information or cool interactions we never got to see. It's just there's really not lots of stakes until like the very last episode. But even then, it doesn't feel like too many high stakes. Like I don't think anyone really like dies like that or anything crazy. So yeah, there's not really much stakes, which really does suck because I feel like a show definitely needs stakes, especially a show as slow and boring as this one. You definitely need some stakes for this. Since we do get cameos from Luke and Ahsoka, which really surprised me because I never knew these characters interacted ever. So if you're going to do a cameo, I feel like you might as well just be cool about it and like show characters interacting because they have a lot in common. I think all Ahsoka says is like, "Oh, you're a lot like your father," and I guess we're just supposed to assume most of it's off screen and stuff like that. But I don't know. If you're already gonna do like a whole cameo with like what 4 cameos in one episode, you might as well go all the way through and show these characters interacting with each other and having more depth and actually like learning things about the characters. Especially since like Luke is rebuilding the Jedi Order and like Ahsoka like hates the Jedi Order. So like maybe if they showed more of that, I feel like that would have been interesting. Maybe they'll do that in Ahsoka. I don't have high hopes for that, but Ahsoka is also one of my favorite characters, especially after Clone Wars. So I hope the Ahsoka show is good, but I don't have high hopes after this one. They already ruined one of my favorite characters. All right, and so for my last point, I just wanted to give an idea for a better show. Even if it was animated, I feel like it would be really cool. But honestly, I feel like it would have been really cool if they showed like a prime Boba Fett, like stuff that was going on during that time and him capturing like bounties and all this other stuff. Maybe a Vader cameo, but that's not necessary. But yeah, stuff like that. Or even in this show, they could have really showed some more of him being younger, like they did in Clone Wars. Like those Boba Fett episodes in Clone Wars were some of my favorite parts of Clone Wars because he was just such an interesting character. Again, to see him trying to get revenge for his father and stuff like that. And I don't know, they could just went more in depth of like what it's like to be living as a clone and stuff like that, and growing up too, because we really don't know much of what happened to Boba Fett. He's kind of just there for most of the time. They could have added so much more depth to his character, I feel like. And honestly, that's just a missed opportunity. I think either the prime Boba Fett or a younger version in Clone Wars, or like just a mix of both, and especially animation, because I feel like animation is a lot easier to do, and it would just look so much cleaner. I feel like we could have had a great show, and yeah, it would have been great for his character. All right, I promised a shorter video, so my overall rating for this show is a 3.5 out of 10. It honestly could be lowered to like a 3 or a 2, because this show, I got nothing for this show. It was such a pain to watch, not enjoyable, ruined the character, and honestly, there's not much else I can really say about this show. I would definitely not recommend it. As you're seeing the low rating, I would hope you not watch this, especially in 2026 where you have all these great shows. But I guess if you're really bored, honestly, I would say if you're really bored, just rewatch a Mandalorian or something. But I guess if you're really bored and you want to see some Star Wars content and you don't mind a not too crazy plot heavy show or something like that, then I guess you could watch this show. But I would definitely never rewatch this show or recommend it to anybody. But hey, if you're craving Star Wars content and you don't feel like rewatching some of the best Star Wars content out there, like Clone Wars, Andor, even Mandalorian is better than this. So there's so many better options. Heck, just watch Tales of the Jedi or something like that. Like, I feel like that would be so much better than this. But I'm not gonna force you not to watch this. So if you want to watch this show, watch it. I would just highly recommend not watching it, especially if you like Boba Fett as a character. But yeah, that is my review for the Book of Boba Fett. Terrible show. And yeah, there's not much else I can say about this show. I will say The Mandalorian did a bit better, but still not the best. I'll have more on that on my next video when I'll be reviewing Mandalorian. So I'm gonna try to get these 2 videos out for you guys. I'm gonna have to grind through season 3 pretty soon, so it's gonna be a struggle, but it won't be as bad as Boba Fett. So hope you have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.